Angie says, when I hear about vocations, I rarely hear about the single life. My unmarried children have wondered if the church finds their vocation as important as the others. Really great question, Angie. There's the idea of a state in life, and there's the idea of a vocation. And so a person's vocation, once they enter into their vocation, it also happens to be their state in life, right? So I am a diocesan priest. I was called to be a diocesan priest, and that is now my state in life. However, before I was ordained, my state in life was a seminarian. It wasn't really my vocation in the big V sense, like it wasn't my calling to be a seminarian. I needed to be a seminarian so that I could become a priest. And before that, I was in college, and before that, I was in school essentially prior to that, and so those would have been referred to as my state in life. And so the single life can be both a state in life and a vocation. And so, for example, all of us actually are born in the state of life of singleness, right? That we are unmarried. That's how we all enter into the world. And that state in life can become consecrated, it is made holy specifically when someone dedicates their life to being single for the kingdom of heaven. And this for the kingdom of heaven part is really important. And so the Catholic Church absolutely recognizes what are called the consecrated single life, or usually women are referred to as consecrated virgins, and men are just referred to as consecrated single. And yet there's this kind of clarification that Jesus makes specifically when he's talking about the eunuchs. And he says, some eunuchs are made so by men, some by choice, some involuntarily, I think, or naturally. I forget exactly how the wording is. But then he says, and then some are made eunuchs for the sake of the kingdom of heaven. And so that is the vocation in which they have decided, I am single. I am going to remain single for the rest of my life, but I'm going to continue to live in the world. I'm going to be under obedience to a certain priest or bishop, usually. And I am doing this for the sake of the kingdom of heaven. So the time that I would have dedicated to the care of my spouse and the care of children, I am now going to dedicate to building up the kingdom of God. And so that is absolutely a vocation. There are some people that really don't ever make that commitment. They're just kind of there, and they what's really going on within their mind is, if somebody comes along, I'll just get married. I'll get married to that person. But right now, I'm just not married to anyone. And so that's a state of life. And in that state of life, God's will is communicated as well to them. There are many things where, all right, yeah, they do God's will in their job, and they do God's will in loving their family of origin, and they do God's will in loving the people around them. However, it is not a vocation if they really have not made that commitment to God to remain in that state in obedience for the sake of the kingdom of heaven. So hopefully that clarifies it a little bit. Let me know if you have any other questions on that, because it's a very unique vocation that obviously a lot of people don't enter into. And so, it's just hard to find lots of good resources out there about it.